Check that monster out right there that I just killed. Man, them things are coming out of the grass up on my porch like crazy. So we're going to show you how to get rid of them. Hey, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to Hanging with GZ. Hey, I hadn't made one in a while, and I thought it was time to make one because I got a little problem. Hey, you have any problem with spiders on your porches, around your house, or anything like that? Hey, the old timers taught me years ago about what we're going to fixing to show you here, but anyway, I got to looking at this, and it's all over the internet. They even sell them on eBay, and I kind of get a kick out of it because I learned this a long time ago, back in the 60s, you know, and I guess people like me's passed it on, and now they're trying to sell these things on eBay, or they even got them on Amazon. You can order them, and so we're fixing to talk about something here, and it's just something I learned. Like I said, it's something like I learned when I was a kid, and I'm just going to kind of go through everything and let you know what's going on. So what I want to introduce you to here is the hedge tree. See the hedge balls up there? They also call it the Osage orange in my country. Well, these hedge trees are all over in my part of the country. I've got a whole fence row full of them, and I got tons and tons of hedge balls. Well, every once in a while my horses get out here and they try to eat them, you know, and they're draft horses, and I try to kind of monitor them on the ground because I don't want them to eat too many of them, you know. They fall out when the wind blows and everything, and anyway, I took and I use them around the house and the shed and stuff this time of the year when the big spiders start coming in and start hibernating. But it's kind of a funny story because you know, I took and knew about this a long time ago, you know, and the more we get on the internet and Facebook and YouTube and everything, it's kind of a funny thing because I learned this years ago, back in the 1960s when I was a kid, from the old timers. And another thing about a hedge tree in my part of the country is they take and cut these hedge posts, and we use them for corner posts in our fences and stuff. And this one right here, I mean, it's got a few holes in it and stuff, but I bet this post was planted back, probably in the 1930s when my dad moved out here and built all this fence. And this thing is just hard as just hard as concrete. So the longer they set, the harder they get. So that's one thing we use here in southeast Kansas for our corner post is a hedge post, because they'll last forever and ever. Okay, so anyway, before we gather some of these hedge balls and we go up to the house and I scatter them around, and we're going to see if we can run the spiders off like I do every year. It always works for me. You know, there's a lot of people says it don't, but you just got to place them in the right place, and I'll show you the correct place to place them things. You know, you got to, just like deer hunting or anything else, you know, you got to put the bait in the travel area. In other words, you got to put it on the road that a spider's going to go. So I'll show you a little bit of that after a bit when we start gathering some and we take them up there and start putting them around the house in the porch area. But I want to tell you a story. I grew up here in southeast Kansas, and there was a little country store on the corner, and us kids would go down there, you know, when we were young, and we'd hang out with the old men when they was drinking coffee in the morning, and that's where I learned most of my knowledge over the years. But it's kind of a funny deal, you know. I remember when I was just a little bitty boy, they was all laughing at the table. Well, some of the guys were laughing, but some of the guys knew. There was a lady that lived on the corner down there, you know, and she would gather these hedge balls every year this time of the year, and she would box them up and she would ship them to her sister in Michigan. And you know, I mean, she was just shipping them all over the place, and we're talking back in 1960, you know, and because, you know, they'd run spiders off, and she would ship them to her sister in Michigan anyway. So us boys was always, you know, wanting to make a dollar somewhere, you know, and you know, money was real tight back then, you know, just like it is today, you know. But you know, we didn't pay a whole lot for a lot of stuff back then. You know, a bottle of pop cost you a dime or a quarter, you know, and you know, we was always looking for a bottle of pop, money for a candy bar or something. And anyway, she started shipping these things off, you know, and we thought, hey, we could start selling these. So we tried to sell a few back then. People just laugh at you around here, you know, because they knew about it. Well, some of the richer people, you know, they'd They'd buy a few of us, you know, or buy a few of them hedge balls from us boys just to help us out. But anyway, I took and had a lot of fun when I was a kid, learned a hell of a lot, you know, from the old men. So let's fix and let's gather some balls up, and we'll take them to the house, and I'll show you the correct place to place them to run a spider off. Man, I came over to the other fence row, and man, look at these things. They're everywhere. I mean, this tree is still just loaded. I mean, I got some, you know, if I ever want to cut some good corner posts or anything for this, you know, a lot of these old farmers, you know, or these farmers today, you know, they'll go to pushing these things out. But I try to keep them because they're good shade, you know. Yeah, they're kind of a mess, you know. You got to keep your fence row cleaned up and everything, but boy, that's a good straight post right there one of these days. You know, if I ever get in a bind when I need some money or something, you know, I'll go to cutting hedge posts, because I've got tons and tons of hedge trees down this fence row. And as long as I keep my livestock in and my fence up around it, you know, I ain't got a problem with it. But anyway, we're going to take and gather some more here, and we're going to go at the house and we're going to place them around. Okay, so where are we going to place these hedge apples? Before I get started placing them around, I'm going to kind of tell you something though. My house is a little unusual than everybody else's houses, because I kind of live in a concrete home. Kind of show it there to you a little bit. It's in the side of the hill, dug out. A few years ago, I got hit by a tornado and I lost everything, and I live on top of a big hill, and I told the wife I'm going to dig a hole in the side of the hill and make me a concrete home. So that's what we did, and boy, I'm sure glad I did it, because my utility bills are cheap. It's easy to heat, it's easy to cool, and one of these days we just might do a video on that, kind of show you my knowledge on what I did there. But for right now, we're going to place these hedge balls around the house, like on the front porch, because that's the only thing I got really open in my house, where the spiders have just been taking me over. Okay, so what you're thinking here is, what am I going to do? Where am I going to place these hedge apples? All right, I got a front porch here. I got grass out here. I got the driveway here that goes all the way down to the end of the house. So where's that spider going to travel? Well, that spider's going to come up on the front porch. All right, but most generally that spider's always going to go against these walls here. They're going to look for something dark. So I'm placed one there. I'm going to place another one right here, right there, and then I'm going to go down to the other door and I'm going to place another one down there. And then another good place to place one is right here, where this comes right there, because they're always going to travel along the edge of the house. Most generally, if you sit out here in a chair and you watch the spiders, they're going to go for an edge. So right here at the end of my wing wall that comes around my porch, I'm going to place one right there in the grass. It might not be the right place in the grass area, because spiders is going to carry the grass everywhere, but most generally they're going to come along the edge of the house. So we're going to try that right there. Okay, so we got most of the hedge balls scattered out, and I think I got them in the right place. I kind of put them in there, you know, kind of watch. You'll see spiders. You sit out on your front porch in the evening, you know, you're going to see the way they travel. It's just kind of like deer hunting, you know. You go out in the timber, you check out the deer, see the route they take, you know, and spiders like to crawl the edge of the house. So, you know, if you got a house that's on top of the ground, it's got a foundation, a good place to put them is underneath your foundation, right against your footing of your house, the bricks coming up or the blocks coming up, or in the crawl hose, you know, because they got to get in there somehow. But anyway, I learned all this when I was a kid, and I just thought I'd share it today. So you know, leave a comment below. You know, if you don't like it, you know, if you don't like what I got to tell you, you know, tell me about it. But you know, I learned all this from the old men. But like and subscribe, and we're going to do some more videos. We got bean harvest coming up, and we got a lot of projects planned for this fall. And so check out my other channel, Tractor Pulling with GZ, and like always, we'll see you on the next video.